Dr. Elias Ortega Ponte from the Commission on Institutional Change reminds us in their work, Widening the Circle, that as Unitarian Universalists, quote, if we believe in collective salvation, we must also believe in collective sacrifice. To me, the idea that as a Unitarian Universalist, I must be comfortable with the experience of individual sacrifice for the greater good is both critical and a little scary. I believe these words to be true, that without all of us understanding just how intricately our lives are joined, we really haven't any hope for a collective liberation of any kind. It is in fact through our sacrifices for one another that we live out our understanding of the deep connection. This idea of sacrifice is not new. It is present in ancient stories of all kind and is seen specifically in our Jewish Christian heritage, in the stories of the Israelites, and in the death of Jesus of Nazareth. A common and consistent message in these myths
Hey you!
is,
I mean, hey me.
no, hey you.
Well, what on earth?
No, that's not right.
Is
Hey
that
me.
the past me?
Yes, I couldn't help but hear your ramblings of sacrifice and salvation and thought, oh my, I need to stop him before he goes right off the deep end. And by the way, when did we get gray hair and what are you wearing? First off, I happen to like my gray hair. It reminds me of my mother. And secondly, I'm wearing a stole that reminds me of my decision to spiritually serve humanity, specifically serving the wonderful people of Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. What? We're a minister now? Hey, that's our home congregation. That's right. Now, before you so rudely interrupted, I was explaining to everyone that throughout the ages, mythical stories often referred to the importance of sacrifice in order to move society forward. Oh, that makes sense. After all, it is what brought us and kept us at MDUUC. Well, I'm not sure what you mean. Can you maybe share a bit more with all of us? You remember, we were trying to find a spiritual home out here in the East Bay. We tried lots of places, each time making sure to sit in the very last row of the pews in case the inevitable topic of gay marriage and homosexuality came up. After all, we had experienced so many nasty comments and hate-filled messaging in other churches that we felt it necessary to keep one foot out the door for a speedy getaway should we need one. Oh, that's right. We were looking for a home church about a year before gay marriage was up for a vote with Proposition 8. Exactly. Don't you recall how the interim minister at the time preached a message of love and inclusion that made us want to weep with joy? And if that wasn't enough, then there was coffee hour. Oh, coffee hour. Sorry, you don't know about the global pandemic. We haven't had a physical coffee hour in maybe 7 months. Pandemic? Let's stick a pin in that and come back to it later. Coffee hour was magical. You took a red cup, walked around the room. It seemed like everyone just gravitated toward us, asking us questions, personal but not over the top, smiling, being kind. And then there was that Elizabeth person. They swept right in and pointed out every queer person in the congregation. Don't you remember how amazing that felt? A person recognizing an important part of who we are and ensuring that we knew this was a safe place. Oh, I remember. It's why we stayed. Exactly. Here was this largely straight, cisgendered, white group of people who found a way to sacrifice a bit of their own comfort, a bit of their own normal, in order to become a welcoming and embracing place. Yes, that's it. Collective sacrifice moving us toward collective liberation. Giving up a little personal comfort for the sake of our greater community. Essentially, learning to honor our seventh principle while holding on to the spirit of our first principle without letting my own inherent worth surpass that of the collective. What a really wonderful reminder in this time of social distancing, mask wearing, and quarantine. It is lonely, difficult, and it feels so prolonged, but we each do it for the betterment of our community. Well, I just would have said they were kind, gentle, and humble humans. I guess you can phrase it that way, although it doesn't sound like me. Must have been something in that seminary water. Well, I'm off. Toodles. Bye, you. I mean, me, right? Oh well.